Okay, let's take a second too to go see some of the really cool things that people have built on Shiny. If you go to, this is Shiny's website, under RStudio/gallery, or just doing a Google search, you'll find this. There's some really simple examples. One of the ones that I like the most is this k-means example. So I've already mentioned that one of the big capabilities and the reasons that people like to go to R is because of its visualization and the ability to explore a data set. But another one of the huge reasons and why we're talking about it today is because of the data science component. And what makes R particularly nice is that there's lots of libraries that are very powerful for doing machine learning and exploring your data by letting it latch on to some of the complexity behind the variables. So machine learning certainly is well beyond the scope of this introductory, but I think it's exciting to kind of see what it's doing and what's happening. I like also the RStudio gallery because people have put up these examples where you can both see the code and you can interact with the dashboard. So in this case, this is the user interface file. So we're basically just saying, here's my header, and that's just printing here. And then here's my panel. So I'm going to make sure I have an input for my X column and my Y column, and see how these are matching up. And then I have a main panel here that is going to print out my plot. Behind the scenes, what it's doing is it's going to be running a k-means function. So this is an algorithm where we can pass in the variables for a data set, and then it's going to decide what observations belong to n number or k number of clusters. So in this case, the input is the number of clusters, which came defined through the UI as 3. And then visually you can see that the data did a pretty good job of finding 3 clusters where the black X represents kind of the centroid of that data set. Okay, that's as deep as we're going to get on machine learning, but we can have some fun with this data set, right? So let's take, for example, looking at 2 groups. If we tell the machine learning algorithm to just use 2 groups, here's where the observations fall out. Or maybe we think that there should be 4, right? So this type of dashboard and the type of interactivity that you can get to the underlying data and the libraries that are loaded are even beyond some of the out-of-the-box capability that you would get with like Tableau, and really begins to put it on par with JMP, for example, right? And lets you do similar type of dashboarding. Okay. So that's probably good for Shiny. Hopefully that's getting your wheels turning about some of the things that you can do there. I've already mentioned a couple times the ability to extend your code using libraries where people have published code bases that you can easily plug in and use. I wanted to call out a few of the examples of things that people use R for work and personal projects, including customer segmentation, or like in the other room, he's doing marketing mix models using R, attribution modeling, multivariate testing, and things like lead scoring. So real quick, I wanted to call out that that there's some popular libraries, but more than anything, I wanted to just show. I don't think I have. Let's try this one. I don't think I have this one installed yet on my machine, and I wanted to just give you a quick demo of what that means to install a library. Okay, so or a package. I showed over here. These are all the libraries that I already have installed on this machine, and And up here, this is how you bring the library into your working session. So so I could simply type, I could try to load this library, but I don't have a package with that name yet, right? So if I want to install one of those, I actually mostly do everything from the command line, but you can do a lot of these things too from within the options. So if I click on install here, I can just paste my package name, and if you forgot what the code is to do the install, it prints it out over here and begins doing the install. So now that went ahead and just, because I did I typed in the install here, searched for it, it went ahead and downloaded that library and that package into my onto my laptop just now, and now I can load that library like that, and I can begin to incorporate it into the rest of my code, right? So that's exactly how you extend your code with a library.